Alrighty, we are live from Columbus, OH, and this is the Ramsey Show After Show. Yes, actually, the Ramsey Show After Show. Not able to do as many of these as I used to be able to, but still trying to do them when I can. And we have audio there. And when I can't, some nights I am able to do an 8 p.m. stream, and it's called Answering Your Financial Questions. And so join me on there if you are so inclined to do so. You're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. What up, Crumb? The No Crypto Bro Show. All right. No debt leverage as well. Don't forget that. People love to. I just don't know. I just don't get it. If I were, say, into debt leverage, and that was my thing, there would be nothing that would make me go into the Ramsey Show chat. I would be like, I disagree with that. I'm not going into there. But people love to do that and love to say, what they think. And that's trolling, of course, in my opinion. Like, for example, I don't go into the debt leverage, into the financial bro subreddit or anything like that and troll them in there. I don't do that. I seek out things I like instead of things that I disagree with. But of course, as we all know, people are nutty, especially dumb trolls. Oh, where was I? Oh, that's right. YouTube.com/Coach Steve Money is the page, and you just scroll down for the financial content past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist. You'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist and the Answering Your Financial Questions playlist. And those are two financial streams, and also there's 12 Ramsey financial adjacent songs in the music playlist, so listen to those if you're so inclined as well. Market report, and this where I talk about the market on the Answering Your Financial Question stream. I don't talk about the market unless the question is specifically about it, but basically I just give just a general primer on what's happening right now. I do know that market was down market was down past few days, August 1st. Market went down, but looks like it's coming back a little bit, at least today, making some of that back. So that's good. More tariffs, I believe, is what I read. And you never know what else. Let's see what the rest of the planet's doing. Everything up in Europe. Almost everything up in Asia. As far as the US dollar, that would be up against the euro, down to the Japanese yen, up against the British pound, love. And but down to the Canadian dollar. They're not sorry about that, probably. And down to the Australian dollar, so mixed for the US dollar. Anybody fun coming up this week for earnings reports? Hims, Palantir, AMD, Supermicro, AppLovin. Here, that was a character in Superbad, right? No, that was McLovin, my bad. And Eli Lilly and Company, all those reporting this week, and hopefully they'll have good news, and that'll help the market come back and get back to that previous high from last week, I believe it was, or week before last. Let's look at headlines. Elon Musk awarded $29 billion pay package from Tesla. All righty. he should, he should get a steak dinner or something tonight. Then he can afford it. AI has ushered in Silicon Valley's hard tech era. Okay, don't know what hard tech. Don't know what that would mean. As Trump's tariff takes shape, is America really winning? Well, you don't know until the end of it. You can't judge it during the middle of it, for sure. Passenger kicked off flight after causing 2-hour delay over major plane violation. All right. People are going to be nutty on planes for sure, just like they're nutty everywhere. Wall Street Journal, China choking supply of critical minerals to Western defense companies. All right. Well, I mean, they can do that if they want to. It's their minerals, right? The vast majority of U.S. adults are stressed about grocery costs. An AP NORC poll finds. Okay. The problem with stuff like that, and this goes into the same category as when people justify doing dumb stuff with money, in today's world, in this economy, and stuff like that. I've heard that my entire life, so it's not just today, people. People are always going to say that, no matter how the economy is, no matter how finances are for the majority or anything like that. As all that's just an excuse. You have to deal with inflation. You have to deal with the prices of things that are there in the grocery store. And that means maybe you have to change your grocery list. Maybe you don't buy very expensive stuff. And if stuff that didn't used to be very expensive is now very expensive, then you stop buying that. It's simple. That's how you do that. You don't just fret about it. Fretting about it does nothing. From the Cloudflare blog, was that for like internet, like cloud? Perplexity is using stealth undeclared crawlers to evade website no crawl directives. Okay. Oh, so if the code doesn't say it's a crawler, it can get past the no crawl sensor. Okay. This boomer couple would be hit with $700,000 tax bill if they sold their house. How much is the house then? My goodness gracious me. If the taxes on it, see, taxes are only a small percentage regardless. So how much is the house? So see, this doesn't matter if it says they get $5 million for the house. So the 700,000 doesn't mean anything. Of course, you don't want to pay any taxes, of course, but still, this is nutty. Business Insider. All right, they got me. Let's see. Oh, and of course, you have to be a subscriber. Let's see. It doesn't say. Nope, can't see it. So not that important. Let's give Nvidia up 2%. Oh, I did not check the most followed single stocks. Apple, Google up over 2%. 1.86 for Microsoft. Amazon down, actually. Meta 2.59% and Tesla 0.85%. So trying to come back a little bit from the losses on Friday. And so no articles today, so let's get right into the questions. Pidgey Potion, would I be unwise to use 2/3 of my brokerage to pay cash for a house? You use whatever amount of a brokerage to pay cash for a house. You do not have extra savings and also get a mortgage. Now, if this brokerage account you're talking about is the retirement account, then that's a no. You don't tap retirement to buy a house unless you are in retirement, and then there would be no penalties, of course. Let's see, I have just over 150K invest in my taxable brokerage account. Yeah, okay. So yeah, I went over this really quickly there. I don't know that there would be much more to say from that, but yes, you would. You would use any non-retirement investing to pay cash for a house. Yes. And you would also apply that money to any other of the baby steps. Step 2, for example, if you had non-mortgage debt, you would apply it there instead of having investing, because you're debt leveraging if you have non-mortgage debt or even mortgage debt, and you also are investing otherwise. Now, for steps 4, 5, and 6, you're supposed to be doing 15%, but only 15% of gross income while you still pay off that house. Let's see. Oh yeah, some homes near me priced around 100 to 120K. All right, a bad idea to use that amount to pay cash for a home versus a home loan. No, it wouldn't be a bad idea. The financial bros would tell you yes, because they love debt leverage, but Mr. Ramsey does not. I'm age 38, so if I don't retire until age 60 plus, I still have a decent amount of time to invest and build wealth. That's right, you do. And again, this is a taxable brokerage account. This is not your retirement account, so hopefully you have more in retirement. Doesn't say, though. Let's see. Of course, some people will just do a brokerage account instead of doing a retirement account. Well, I mean, you might not work somewhere that has a 401k plan, but in that case, you still do a Roth IRA for yourself. Let's see what's up here. Besides rent, I don't have any other debt. Rent is not debt. As I said last night as well. I also don't have a family to raise. Okay. Lonely, but easier. Would I be better off to just leave the money invested and only take out enough for a 20% down payment? No, you do not. Why are people so dumb to even think about that? Would be better to pay cash if I can do so without being broke afterwards. Yes. Paying cash is the way. You're on the Dave Ramsey subreddit, Pidgey Potion. Quit being dumb. Well, paying cash would definitely take most of the wealth in my brokerage account. Well, you're transferring it. It's still wealth because you could sell the house if you needed to and get that back. So it's not just going into a vacuum somewhere, into some void and becoming nothing. Instead of being money in a brokerage account, which you can't spend, it would be now in a house where you can't spend it either. You would have to take it out of the brokerage account to spend it. You would have to sell the house to spend it. And so it's the same thing. It counts the same towards your net worth, in fact. I wouldn't be completely... no, I have an 8K emergency fund in a savings account. Okay. And with no mortgage payment or car payment, I would start being able to save and rebuild wealth fairly quickly. You're not losing wealth. See, that's what people are nutty. You're not losing it. It's just not in a brokerage account. It's just not in the market. It's in your house. Be quite a while to get back to 150K. Added to be clear, this is all in a taxable brokerage account. I know I'm taxed on the gains when I sell and withdraw. I will not be using money from my Roth IRA. Okay, so it does have a Roth IRA, and you should be putting 15% in that and not putting extra into the brokerage account. You should not be doing that. Now, if you were renting beforehand and thought you were going to rent forever, that could be considered step 7, and you can invest as much as you want. But now that the second you decide you're buying a house, then you go back down to the 15% of total investing, and all that should be in retirement investing. So, and the person may 15% of gross income could be more than the max for the Roth IRA, and so then taxable brokerage account would be one of the options to finish up your retirement investing in there. But should be only 15% while you're paying off a mortgage. But you saved in advance, and fortunately you live in a low cost of living area, apparently, having 100 to 120K houses. And some people that live in California don't think those exist anywhere, but they do in the Midwest even, and other places away from the oceans. If you get away from the oceans, then you can find cheaper housing usually, but there are pockets where it still costs a lot. So just 15% of gross income to investing, while you would be paying a mortgage, but this person won't have a mortgage, and so that mortgage payment that would be paying, that all can go right back into investing. And again, you do not lose the net worth portion by transferring it from a taxable brokerage account to paying cash for the house, because the house is worth X. Fun times. Speaking of, there's hymns. Speaking of reporting this week, today maybe, right? The 4th, yeah. Died of a theory. Okay, well, I mean, some thought experiments shouldn't be done and are a waste of time for sure. I don't know that you would necessarily die from it, but let's see, what would Dave say? Let's see if I know what Dave would say. Or could make a reasonable assumption. Let's see. I could do better long term if I wait for another correction, but that is not the advice. So what Dave would say is quit being dumb, quit trying to time the market. Any market, you don't do that. But the stupid CD rates, you're not supposed to have CD rates. Some dummy was in the freaking Ramsey show chat this morning talking about CD rate. People get hung up on the little stuff that they do, and they were talked into doing a CD originally, maybe, or they just found it somewhere and started doing it, and that's how they save money, instead of doing a high yield savings account instead, where they can take out the money anytime they want to. A CD is locked in for X number of whatever rate of time, and if you take it out at the wrong time before it matures, then you have penalties on it. So why not have your money out of that just to make one more percent? Not worth. Let's see. CD rates at my bank have now moved to locking my money in for 5 months. Yeah. So that's a no for me. I'm opting out of that and putting my money in a high yield savings account. Let's see. I would just hate to put most of it in to VTI or VU, dumbass index funds, and Dave doesn't say to do that either. So what Dave would say is none of the stuff that you're doing. So why do you care what Dave would say? Everything you're doing is bad. And then poof, here comes a correction, and I could have made a lot more money. Okay, so you're going to wait forever. You're a dumbass. You're going to wait forever for a correction. Are you talking about in the market? Well, we had one Friday, so if you bought Friday, perhaps you got a little bit of sale. Let's look at the NASDAQ too from Friday, and basically the same graph where it just went So that is a little bit of savings that you got, and immediately went back up. So you might have done that. But the idea is not this. The idea is not one day or even 5 days. We're not freaking day traders. If you're trying to be a day trader, Dave doesn't have any advice for you except don't do that, because most of them go broke. So don't do that. Let's look at the maximum. As you can see, look, it constantly goes up. Even when it comes back down, look, it constantly goes back up into a new high, constantly. And not as effective as seeing the 5-year view. 5-year view is more effective for this. But you buy whether it's up or down. That's called dollar cost averaging. And what that means is, instead of waiting for the correction that may never come, you are making money this whole time. So you're losing out on the little bit of money every single day while you wait. So you're not supposed to try to time the market. And that's what Dave would say. Dave would say, everything you're thinking and doing is dumb as crap, is what I think he would say. Maybe not the crap thing, but he has said to a lady one time when she wrote in asking about building credit score for her young children. And he said, that's a dumb butt idea, lady. And this is a dumb butt idea. Everything this person is doing is wrong. A lot more money. So yeah, I don't know. I know you're just dumb, and you are dying of a theory. You're dumb. Quit being dumb. Follow advice that has been proven. You ask, what would Dave say? Why don't you Google it? Why don't you watch the Ramsey show, and then you would know. And it's none of your stupid crap that you're doing. They say you can't time it. Yeah, that's right. That's right, because you don't know in advance. But it is sure nice to. But you just said you can't do it. You can't do it effectively. You're losing out on too much money by waiting. We're talking about a substantial 6-figure sum that is not living up to its potential, just sitting in a CD. You should not have probably a 6-figure sum sitting in a CD. That's dumb as crap too. You're doing it wrong. So I would first look at the baby steps. Like, if you have any non-mortgage debt, you should not be having all that in a CD. All that should be applied to the debt. And of course, you got plenty apparently for the 3 to 6 months of expenses. But then you should be investing. And you don't wait to time it. You buy out of every paycheck. You buy on schedule, whether the market's up or down. Quit being dumb as crap. Nutty people. Fragrant Bluebird, 8106 on $100,000 invested at 21. Today I had 100K in stocks. Single stocks not recommended by Mr. Ramsey. Not diversified enough. Manage mutual funds is the way to do it. That beat the indexes. Don't just do the index because you're leaving money on the table. There are managed funds that beat the index. And if you can't find them, you have not spent enough time looking. 21 man and going to be a senior in college this fall. My goal was 100K by graduation. So I'm ecstatic to do it so early. Now for 120K portfolio, 4.3K Apple. Yeah, single stocks are not the way to go. Instead, and single stocks and the freaking index. How did I know that? So, I mean, 100K invested, though, is better than 99K invested for sure. But also shouldn't be doing that if you have student loans out. So the college should be all paid for too before you would start investing. 21 is probably too early to be doing that. The Ramsey advice for teens and young adults is that you do not invest. You just pile up cash, high yield savings account or whatever is fine, not CDs. and you would put that money into, as I said, the high yield savings account, until you graduate college debt free, move out of mommy and daddy's house, and live on your own. So you got to have money for that. Maybe you got to buy a car. Maybe you didn't need one at college. Maybe you got to buy a car. So that would be involved as well. And so you wouldn't start investing early. So that is not the Ramsey advice. So just sharing, I guess. Looks like just wanted to share and get, I mean, that's better than spending $100,000 for sure. But you're doing it wrong still. Baltimore Bobo, all right. Every dollar estimated debt-free date. I started using the Every Dollar app, and after plugging everything in, the estimated debt-free date is showing February of 2032. Okay, well, and that seems insanely far off considering our income and ability to knock out the debt. Is this just if you paid the minimums? Probably, because if that's what you put in as the payment amount, that's all it goes by. Yeah, that's if the only number it has for the payment for each individual debt is the minimum, then yeah, how is it gonna know to do different? Well, I guess it could know to do that because if you put in the income and stuff like that. So I don't personally know. I don't use Every Dollar or tried it, didn't like it, went back to a spreadsheet. Because the spreadsheet, you can actually make it do exactly what you want to, and you can't do that with apps. Apps are limited to what they're programmed to do. So I don't know about that, but you would think it would take from your income and subtract expenses and then apply the extra to the debt, you would think. But I don't know. Maybe you did it wrong. Maybe you entered in stuff incorrectly there. But yeah, 2032, again, I was going to say that's too long. And if it takes more than 3 years for you to be done with step 2, that's when you have to sell cars and houses and stuff like that. Because it should not take more than 3 years. So yes, you do not keep a dumbass car you financed if it's going to cause you to be in baby step 2 for more than 3 years. That's going to be a no. That's why we don't finance cars at all. Mutually awkward, former freelancer with Roth IRA, now with a job that set me up with a Roth 401k. What do I do? I would probably just keep the Roth IRA. And you might even prioritize the Roth IRA after any match you get from contributing to the Roth 401k. And of course, they will have to open a regular 401k as well for you because you can't put the match in a Roth account. It's part of the law that established the Roth accounts. And so again, the Roth IRA, as is the case with mine, my 401k, the investment options are not great. I found there's one good one in there that I am using as far as the match, but I'm gonna max out the Roth IRA still because I have much better overall funds in that. And funny enough, they're at the same brokerage, but still with the 401k plan, sometimes they limit you, and that is the case in my 401k plan. Would like some help since I am not the most financially learned human. All right, it's good to admit it. Good to know it. You could learn more though. The internet has all of the information about mutual funds and investing, etc., on there. I'm 38 years old and make $73.5 thousand a year. Pre-tax, I have a Roth IRA. I started funding in 2018 because I was a freelancer for many years. The total balance is currently $12,771.34. 2018. Okay, 7 years. All right. In recent years, I stopped contributing to him because I went back to college and had tuition payments and car payments. Okay. Hey, you know what? Tuition payments, yes. Should not have done student loans if you did student loans. And a car payment means you did finance a freaking car, and that was dumb as crap. That is not the Ramsey advice. Are you aware of that? Are you aware that Mr. Ramsey is a no-debt guy? Some people seem like they don't know that, or they're just like, whatever on that. 2 years ago, whatever, but still, what do you recommend for finances? 2 years ago, I started a staff job that is better than a staph infection, for sure. That has me set up with a Roth 401k for the first time in my life, and my employer matches 50% of my contributions up to 5% of my annual compensation. Great. And it might be a thing where he has to put in 10% to get the 5 match. It could be that kind of thing. I've been contributing 5% to get the match. Oh, okay. Okay. Matches 50% of my contributions up to 5%. Okay, so if you are contributing 5%, you're only getting 2.5 match then. Because it's 50% of your contribution. So you're doing it wrong if that's what you meant to do. Total balance, and you should be doing that. So you should put in the 10% so they get to 5%. So unless the way this is worded, unless it's 2.5 is as much as they'll do, and that means you putting in 5%. Would be the most you could do. And so, yes, you would do it the way you, if that's the case, yeah, you would do it like that. But I would double check on that. Because only you know what the max they'll do is, because you didn't explain it perfectly, Ari. What is the most they'll do? 2.5% or 5%? If they will do 5%, then you need to put 10 in because of this 50% of what they will match. And so you got to take half away. That's how that works. That's how that math works. Total balance is 12,930.97. Okay, great. My investments in my Roth was choosing, my goodness gracious, English people. Was choosing Vanguard's default VFIFX, which is currently allocated 91% stocks, 8% bonds, 1% short. This sounds like some dumb target date crap. Let's see what it is actually. Pasting go, pasting search. Vanguard target retirement 2050 fine, just as I thought. And so the Ramsey advice is no bonds and so forth. That is a small percentage though, so you could live with that if that is the best option for you. There. Oh, I open the rest of it. There it is. Okay. My Roth 401k investments are total market, international, real estate, and that's not, and the bonds thing, that's going to be a no for Mr. Ramsey. It should be a 4-way split in small, mid, large cap, and the international. So, and these are probably all indexes, and so that's going to be no as well. So you could easily learn more about the Ramsey investing by going to the YouTube and typing in Dave Ramsey investing and not paying any attention to the people that have put the title Dave Ramsey investing in their video's title so they can crap all over his investing advice. only watch the ones from Ramsey Solutions, meaning that Dave or one of the other hosts are talking about it. Probably most likely Rachel or George. Probably would be the other people talking about investing in those videos. And that will teach you a lot about. Watch every single one of them, and then you'll learn more about investing. Novel B 541. Cosign for kids apartment, worst case scenario, and I said this last night. Worst case scenario is that they don't pay the money, they destroy the apartment, and you have to pay for all of that stuff. So that's going to be a no. If I co-sign for my kid's apartment, what is the worst case scenario? Just what I said there. Let's say, as example, the place burns to the ground. Would I be liable? Generally, the apartment company would have insurance on that, but as far as if it's something that's traced to their behavior, it's possible. More info: $1.6 million net worth, 100% debt free, including the house. I'm not signing for anything, dog. That's gonna be a no. That is a no for me, dog. Now, I don't know what else you could do here. Let's see, $1.6 million net worth, and you're 100% debt free, including the house. So no debts on that. So all that 1.6. So I mean, maybe you buy the kid a cheap house. That would be better than doing that. And then after the kid doesn't the move out of that one, then you can sell it, or you can just gift it to the child. And that would be preferred over co-signing. You don't co-sign. No, 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 and no. That's too much liability there. Iowa guy DSM. 25 years old, 75 cash salary, and bought a condo. How am I doing? Oh, well, you bought a condo, so you must be doing great. Dumb. Let's see. Hey, everyone. I don't usually share this kind of thing, but I know this group will understand. Not necessarily. I live in Iowa. Cost of living is low with decent job market surrounding the insurance industry. It's been a big year for me. I bought a condo after 3 years of saving. Baby step 3. Baby step 3. Excuse me. Baby step 3B, perhaps, is what you're talking about, the down payment. Baby step 3 is the full emergency fund, which is a different thing, my friend. So you're not saying it right. Maybe just forgot the B off of there. Got 2 promotions, no debt besides the mortgage. Still budgeting every month and investing for the future. Net worth snapshot. Do you want a pat on the back? This is all stuff that you should continue doing the rest of your life without a pat on the back. Your continued good finances is your pat on the back. Checking savings, 1712, emergency fund, high yield. I don't like the emergency fund and high yield savings account because emergencies don't wait 1 to 3 days, especially if this person is single and in a coma, and nobody else knows how to get that money. And hopefully you put beneficiaries on that as well. The Roth IRA, 38.8K, close 0.9K. 401K, 16,179, 141K. Feels like I'm somewhere between baby steps 4 and 6. Feels like, it doesn't feel like it. You either are or you're not. If you don't have any debt, I'm assuming you would be on, if you don't have any kids, you're on steps 4 and 6. You're supposed to be paying that condo off early, investing only 15%. If you're doing it more than that, you're doing it wrong. For those who've been here, what would you focus on next? You would be investing the 15% and paying the condo off early. Let's see what the person is. Or suggest I do differently. I would suggest you follow the baby steps exactly as they are written. Imagine that. And so you want to be investing the 15%. Definitely do that. But as far as all the rest of your extra money, that does not go in any other investments. That goes to paying off the investment you already bought, which is the condo. And that would be all you do. And that is not that exciting as far as wheeling and dealing and trying to do all kinds of different scheming and scamming and different investments and so forth. But that is the advice from Mr. Ramsey. And that's why his baby steps say to do exactly that. So you could have just read the baby steps instead of asking the question. But people are nutty. They always think their little situation makes them special or something like that. Or it'll be something. Oh, I read the baby steps, but my little situation will definitely be some other thing. Somebody will recommend something else. Now, it doesn't matter what anybody else recommends. This is Dave Ramsey's subreddit. Dave Ramsey is the authority here as far as the advice you would think. Otherwise, why would you be posting on the Dave Ramsey subreddit? Same situation, 8035 insurance question. I have a question about insurance. My husband's family took out 2 whole life insurance policies on him as a kid. Cash him out. Get term life first and then cash him out. We cashed out one. It was about $6,000 and kept the other and paid $38 a month. Dumb as crap to do that. Do not do that. It is cheap compared to term life insurance. It is. It is. Find out what the death benefit on it is, and the death benefit has to match. Or get the payout and then just do term. You should have term in place first and then cancel that other one. We see quoted about $70 Canadian for term life insurance. Okay, Canada, they're doing their own thing up there. I don't know anything about that. But term is generally a lot cheaper here in the United States, though. We see quoted about 70 Canadian for term life insurance for both of us. So I think math works the same way in Canada. So if you pay 38 to just insure him on the whole life, that is more. That is $76 for 2 people. You're so dumb, person in Canada. Sorry. Do math. That's so dumb. Thank you. ETA, that's estimated time of arrival? What does that mean? As a follow-up, I'm leaning toward cashing out and getting term life. You get term life first because you don't want to be stuck without insurance. Make sure you have that in place first, and then you do that. If I do this, do we get term life and disability? Don't necessarily need disability, but definitely term life instead of whole life. Yes, whole life's a horrible investment. Bad insurance and a bad investment, both. You know who it makes money for? The insurance company. A lot more than term life makes for those insurance companies. Gross 13. Every dollar budget surplus. Hi guys. This is the first month I got my husband on board and we're doing great in capital letters with our July budget with all income accounted for. However, our bank account is plus 1,200. No further bills coming out before August 1st. Our budget is an every dollar budget, so why do we have so much extra left over? We already made a double payment on our debt. Okay, well, first, what jumps out at me, a double payment, does that mean you're making a double payment to every one of your debts? And that's dumb. You're not supposed to do that. You put it all towards the lowest one. But if that's what you mean, you made a double payment to just that lowest one. And why you would have that, 1200 in there. Well, you would have, oh, the bank account is 1200. If that's where you have your $1,000 emergency fund, that would be in there, and then you have 200 excess. And so now you have to, you said no more bills coming out. What about groceries or anything else due before the first? And it depends on when you get paid as well. You have to have enough in your bank account to get you to the next paycheck. And so the zero, it's called every dollar because your budget should account for every single dollar. You spend it intentionally in your budget before the month begins, so you know where everything's going. But that does not mean that your bank account will ever be at zero, even though it's a zero-based budget. But you should have extra money to send, and you doing a thing like just saying, well, we'll send double. No, that's not what you send. You don't send double. You send as much as you have that is extra. And so you need to figure out how much is extra. And so I don't know why the bank account would be 1200. You apparently didn't do something right in the every dollar budget, I'm assuming. And that is not an every dollar budget surplus. That is a bank account surplus, unless every dollar also says you have 1200 in the bank. So you got to do some looking into that and figure out how every dollar works as far as that is concerned. Successful T5733. Can people please drop it about the $1,000 emergency fund? No, they can't, because I don't know, they just don't agree with Dave, and that's step one. That's the first thing they see, and so that's the easiest thing to disagree with. And of course, then that's when you get in today's world, in today's economy, it's not enough. But like Dave likes to say, $1,000 wasn't enough 30 years ago. It's not supposed to be enough. It's supposed to take care of small emergencies so that you don't get derailed off of your getting out of debt progress. I'll read a little bit of this. Listen, I've got plenty of grips. You mean gripes? Gripes has an E in it, my friend. With some of Dave's hypocrisies. What? But people keep going on about the $1,000 baby step. One being a relic of the 90s and needing to be updated. I saw some Money Guys clip the other day berating Dave about it. Are they so ignorant? Yes, they are, if they don't understand. Well, they did go to UGA, so that might explain it. Okay, so this person, I'm guessing, is a troll himself. Especially talking about Dave's hypocrisies. So why would you be on the Dave Ramsey subreddit then? What would you be doing that for? Why would you be doing that? Why would you care what the Money Guy, and it's not the Money Guys, it's called the Money Guy Show, but there's two of them, so people just change that to Money Guys, so that's not correct. You're doing it wrong. Should have changed the name of the show if there's going to be more than one guy on it. Just my opinion. Square Shock 9206. Gazelle Intensity. How I saved to pay off all my debts. Well, you don't spend the money on anything else. Let's see. Inspired by Dave Ramsey's YouTube videos and book. Great. Decided to review the previous 6 months of my expenditures, because it's more than one. So you need the S there. I determined that the biggest opportunity to cut expenses and free up money from debt captivity was to pay off debts by eliminating recurring expenses. Once I lowered my monthly cost of living, I used the debt snowball approach to pay off the smallest debts. Example, cell phone device, smallest credit card balance. Once paid off, I used that freed up money to pay off the net. Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how exactly. So you follow the baby steps is what you're saying. Great. A lot of people don't do that. So that is actually great, but you know, it's you just follow the baby steps. You didn't do anything special or anything like that. Here's how I went about finding the money within my budget. Purpose to pay off debts. All debts. What? Purpose. Colon to pay off debts. All debts, okay. Goal, colon, cut frivolous spending. Yeah, and that's just rewording what he said before, so, or she. So, done with that. Great, you follow the baby steps. That's fabulous. That is the advice. You have done well. I want a little bit too happy about it, maybe a little bit too verbose about it, but that's fine. It is a subreddit after all. Legitimate Earl 1372, baby steps in the UK retirement question. Hi, apologies if this is frequently answered or not relevant to this post. Well, it would be relevant to the post because you're the one making the post. People are so nutty. They are so nutty. You mean relevant to this subreddit? Is that what you meant? This forum? I have a question about the retirement step. Obviously, with the opt-in scheme in the UK, we don't necessarily save for our pension. I'm a teacher and will have an average salary pension. I'm aware my circumstances may change, though. Therefore, would the equivalent for us to be to pay into a LISA? Yes. If that makes sense. Because, again, the pension does not make as much as the market does. So your contributions to your pension, if you are making any, I don't know if the bloody UK companies pay for it all themselves or the government, whatever. I don't know how that works. But if you are contributing to it, those contributions count as only half of towards the 15%. So you would be putting the difference, into that LISA. If that makes sense. We're thinking more for my husband as he works in the private sector. Sorry if that doesn't make sense. I'm just really trying to make a sound plan. Kind regards. Right, and it wouldn't be just for him because he works in the private sector. You probably aren't putting away enough either, having just the pension. A lot of people think that, oh, I have a pension, I'll be fine. No, you won't. You're making way less with that pension than it would in the market. So you're doing it wrong. Investment bed 7693. Where would you throw extra money? You put any extra money, you apply it to the whatever baby step you're on. No debt. Fabulous. Married 51, 53 years old. Only debt is 2 homes. You should not have 2 homes. You should not have 2 mortgages. You are allowed to have 1 mortgage on the house you live in. An extra home or a rental property you should pay full cash for. So you're doing it wrong. 1 investment, $290K. 2 homes, 1 investment. The investment house, right? Yeah. And primary $890, yeah, you would not do that. You would sell that. Maxing out 401k and contributing 4K a month to IRAs and mutual fund. You would not have extra. You would not be investing extra. You do 15% of gross, and you would be paying off your primary mortgage, and you also pay off your primary mortgage by selling your investment property as well. So you're doing it wrong, and it's not extra money. The only reason you have extra money is because you are debt leveraging. Maximum match by company edition Net worth about $1.15 million currently, even with the over $1 million debt. Really? Still working with excellent salary, more than 200K. Pension and disability from first career is sizable, 15K a month, and half is not taxed. The disability. Extra 5K a month should go where? I have thoughts, but curious what you think. The 5K isn't the problem. The investment property that you owe 290K on is the problem. So if you're going to put money towards anything, it would be that, but the advice is to not do that. So I would just sell that and put that 290 or whatever net you get from that towards your primary house. So people are dumb as crap, and normally how this crap happens is the first one, the investment now could have been what they were living in previously, and then they thought they had to upgrade, and so they got more like a $1 million house to live in, and then they kept the other thing because that's your financial bro advice. Oh, you never sell real estate? Bull crap. Yes, you do. You do not have a mortgage on business stuff, which includes rental property, investment property. So you're doing it wrong. So that's the problem, not the 5K extra a month, my friend. That's the problem. You're doing it wrong. And so that would be the advice instead of the question you asked. Super positive, 1714. What percentage of my income should I be investing for retirement if I will have a PERS pension? Okay, I don't know what how the PERS one would be different, but I don't know of any pensions that make as much as the market does. And so you would only again be if you're contributing to that, you would only count that percentage as half towards the 15%. Now, if they are paying for it all and you're not putting anything in, then you would be investing 15% yourself. Dave says to put away 15% of your income for retirement, but does that number change if I have a career that allows me to have a PERS pension when I retire? I have access to 403B or 457B in addition to Roth IRA. You would do the Roth 403B if you have the option. So, but that's the dealio on that. And that has to be 15 of your money, not including the match if they do one. And not including the pension. Again, pension counts as half. Pension contributions count as half towards it. So if you're putting 10%, guess what? That only counts as 5%, and you have to put an additional 10% of your income into the 403B or your Roth IRA or some other investing account, retirement investing account. Excuse me. Present Hospital 790. Can I use this for $1,000 start? I mean the starter emergency fund. So I'm in Canada and I'm unsure how it works in the United States, but here, sorry, I just got a secured Visa card, so I paid $500 of my own money, and I got a credit card for $500 limit. I'm thinking if I increase my limit to $1,000, so I will have. Okay, missing the point. We don't do debt. We don't do credit cards. So this person in Canada, missing the point and dumb, almost seems like that could be a troll as well. Secret Flight 7446, need advice. I've read up on the baby steps. Have you now? And am conflicted on if I should follow them. Well, make up your mind and do it. Follow them to the T. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, there wasn't a period there. The capital letter on the T2 fooled me there. Yes, you should. Why would you half-ass anything? Why would you do that? I'm 33. I have $45,000 in student loans left to pay off for kids, and currently I'm renting a house, $2,000 a month. I have the $13K in high yield savings account. Yeah, you would go down to $1,000, and yes, you would follow this to a T. Or you can be dumb and do your own stuff. That's fine. Knock yourself out if you want to do that. I invest in mutual funds. You would not be doing that under the Ramsey advice. And 529 accounts as well, you would not be doing that on the Ramsey advice until your dumbass student loans are done. You don't freaking save up for your kids to go to college while you still have dumbass student loans. As well as add money to high yield savings account every month, around $600 in total. No, you do not do that. Everything you're doing is wrong. The baby steps are the correct way to go. So that's up to you, dog. Most people will not do them, so you are not special if you don't do them or you think you have a better plan. And guess what? Guess what? Millions of documented success stories following this plan. Your crap that you're doing, no statistics on it. So which one do you think you should do? Where are we? Is it worth it to pause those investments, high yield savings account? You would not only do that, but you would liquidate all except the retirement accounts. I mean, and you wouldn't liquidate the 529 accounts because there's penalty on that too. So you would leave the money in there that you unfortunately already were a dumbass and put in there. That is so dumb that you're saving money for them so they don't have to get student loans while you still have student loans. That is so dumb, sir or madam. And paying the student loans to get them paid. Yes, you would liquidate that $13K out of there, and that goes to debt. I'm trying to save to purchase a house as well. Everybody wants to do everything all at the same time. Hey, guess what? You're not even thinking about house until baby step 3B, so that's not only after your student loans and other non-mortgage debt are paid off. That's also after you have your full 6-month emergency fund again, which is going to be gone because the $13K is going to go down to $1K if you're going to follow the advice correctly and not do your own dumb ideas. As well as invest in my kids' future since college is so expensive now. Not really sure what to do. Any advice would be helpful. I got a great idea. The guy's been doing it 30 years. You're on the subreddit that has his name on it. I got a great idea. How about you try doing his advice exactly as written instead of trying to reinvent the wheel, you dumbass. Environmental can 284 161K. Is it possible to pay 161K in 3 years, earning 132K net? Yes, you just have to not spend 160K on 1K on anything else during that time. But again, that's your maximum time in baby step 2 to pay that off. Otherwise, you would have to start selling houses and cars instead of paying those things off. JP6061, just going a little extra longer today since there's only going to be 2 after shows. The next one is Thursday. That's the only other one this week. I am going to be doing a bunch of night streams though, 8 p.m. Eastern time. JP6061, debt payoff almost, advice needed. All have been listening to Total Money Makeover and trying to get smart. Well, do or do not. There is no try. I have 45K in consumer/credit card debt, 65K personal loan at 12%. That was a dumbass decision. A car loan, 12.8K. And a mortgage, 179K. I will be receiving $100,000, and I'm trying to get out of this mess. $100,000 will help. And how you would do that is you would start by applying it. Assuming you already have $1,000 for step one, you would apply it to all your debt. Your lowest debt, it seems like it would be the car loan, so you would pay that off immediately. And you can also pay off the personal loan. You could also go with each individual credit card. You could split those up and pay it off that way. But you're supposed to do smallest to largest. That's how you do that. And paying off the mortgage early is step 6. So that's not a thing you're putting extra on yet. My thought is to pay off the consumer debt first and then put the rest on the personal loan. Yeah, the personal loan would be last because it's the most amount of money. So yes, that would be the last one of those. Or could I pay off the personal loan and put the rest and then the rest on the credit card? What is the best choice? You pay it smallest to largest is the best choice, and that's gonna be your car for $12K and then $45K, and so that is, do some quick math here, $57.8K. So you would still have $52.3K to put towards the personal loan. So that's not right. What do you say? Oh, 57.8K. So that is 43, excuse me, 43 and some change that you would put towards the personal loan. And so you would only have 22K left of non-mortgage debt then. So, and that's how you would do that. And that is the best choice, of course. Debt snowball method is what that is called. The smallest to largest. Next dollar coach. Tips for visiting Ramsey. Going to visit Ramsey Solutions for the first time on Friday, the 1st of August. Hey, that was 2 days ago or whatever, 3 days ago. You probably have to register sooner than you are. You type this. So if that was August 1st, this was like 2 days before he's going to visit. You probably have to register before 2 days before you're going there, but if you let them know that you're coming on the website, they will, as best they can, try to let you know if Dave will not be there. What is my chances that Dave will be there? Imagine that. What should I do to prepare, etc.? I don't know. Whatever you think you need to take with you, I don't know. If you want something signed, you would have to have that with you. I don't know, dog. They have cookies and beverages there for free. So I don't know what else you would want, but as far as the and I don't know what else they might if you register with them, they may have like maps for you, like with different businesses that are nearby, like for food or something like that. They may have the best place to park. They may tell you about that. Who knows? Who knows what else they would have there? But as far as preparing, what do you do to prepare for a concert? It would be no different. And let's see, Sarah here now. New homeowner advice. The new house needs new flooring. Does it? If when you walk on the flooring, if your foot doesn't go through it, I think it's fine. The current floor is beyond cleaning or repairing, says you. This, especially when people buy new houses, they go crazy and they start thinking, oh yeah, I need this, and they're full of crap most times. I find the significantly cheaper option would be to, and of course, see the significantly cheaper option. So out of what, 2 options? You only did 2 options on this? Carpet, however, having a toddler, I I wonder floor is ideal. Wonder if flooring is ideal or if the floor is ideal. Everyone is telling me to go for the wooden floor linoleum, but that's double the price than carpet. They said if I buy the carpet, I'll only replace it later, which is true. But funds wise, I would like to not eat into my emergency fund and get a carpet. Hey, guess what? None of that's an emergency. None of that's an emergency. So quit being dumb. New homeowner, yeah, take a cold shower. Stop spending money on your house. You already spent plenty on the house itself. I also need a new sofa. Shut up. As I've been in furnished rentals and don't have any furniture, my parents have a brand new sofa set. It's a hideous thing, but it's new and clean. But I really want to buy a new one. I know I shouldn't. Can someone tell me off? Yeah, quit being dumbass and quit trying to buy so much stuff for your new house. I wonder if you should have even bought the house. You know, this makes me question everything about your finances. And so there's probably other financial stuff that you are having issues with, and not just your dumbass self trying to buy all kinds of new stuff for the house. That is dumb as crap. And so let's just check for the next stream. I believe it's tomorrow night. Yeah, Tuesday night, which I'll go over the upcoming stream shortly. Overthinking this journey, and I'm an overthinker, so I do understand it. This from Dry Anxiety, 1068. 1068. Baby step 1 flare. Okay, especially, yeah, on baby step 1. Okay, so this is great. As it says in my ticker down below, you do steps 1, 2, and 3, one at a time without even thinking about higher steps. That means if you're on step 1, you concentrate fully on step 1. And you don't go overboard in thinking about higher steps. Stop it. Stop it. Get the $1,000 first, and then step 2 is easy. It's just pay off all your debt. That's going to take you a minute probably, so you don't have to take time to think about the other one. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Work more. Figure out how you can get rid of your debt, and that's by paying it off and not spending money on other things. Stop it. Stop the overthinking. I hate to admit that I've been following Dave for years, but never really put the baby steps into practice. Well, that was dumb. I did the same thing, though. Listening to his show since the 90s and didn't get smart until the 2000s sometime. When was that? I don't know. I'll try to figure it out one day. I've tried. I can't remember when I actually started. I've tried. It was, of course, after my ex-wife and I bought a house, though. I've tried multiple times, but I fail right away. Well, that's a bad attitude, and that's dumb. What dumb stuff are you doing to make you fail? I want to ask for accountability partner, but I'm too proud and or afraid of some kind of judgment. Well, you got problems then, don't you? I know I'm not the only one who's felt or feeling just like this. So I'm looking for some insight to make this journey easier for me to take. Just stop, think about the step you're on and forget about the rest of it until you're actually on that step. There's plenty of time to learn about the rest of it when you're actually on those steps. So stop it. Stop it. You save $1,000 fast as possible. That's your starter emergency fund. And you don't do anything else with money. You don't buy any I'll tell you what, I mean, for step 1, but also step 2 and 3. So get used to this. You do not buy anything that's not 100% necessary. Stop it. All that money is going to debt and then to your full emergency fund. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the thinking. Pay off 0% student loan or card 0% interest car loan. Yes, it's still debt. And look at this. It says pay off debts. It doesn't say, but not if they're 0%. No debt leveraging by doing dumbass crap like that. No. That's an ad. What's my next move? 22 man who's extremely lucky with investing, and probably doing it wrong somehow. I just don't. I just don't trust people. So we'll read that whole thing and see what's up with that person on the stream tomorrow night. Paid off car in 4 months. Great. First contribution withdrawal. I'm going to receive about 20K in first contributions when I leave government. I haven't worked there for 5 years, so I'm ineligible for pension. Okay, I was wondering the best way to use this. Student loan, you would use that on your smallest loan. You would use that on your smallest piece of non-mortgage debt. And then your next smallest if it goes past the first one. 39 business owner finally committed Ramsey after years of excuses. Advice welcome. Quit being dumb, basically. Yeah. Planning to pay off mortgage over the next few years. Thoughts on investing and then paying a lump sum. No, you do not do that. That's dumb as crap as well. Paying the mortgage itself feels so futile. No, because you pay extra on the mortgage, then it lowers the amount of interest you're paying, you dumbass. Baby step 6, you would think, on baby step 6, you'd think you'd be smarter than that, but apparently not. When does it make sense to buy different cars? When does it make sense to keep our cars? Yes, it does make sense to keep them. You do not need to upgrade cars. That's not a need, that's a want. If you're in a position where you can satisfy such wants, as in you are in at least baby step 4, 5, and 6. 4 and 6 anyway, or even just step 4. If you're at least in step 4, you can upgrade a car, but you probably don't have to, and you probably shouldn't. Because if you don't do that and you apply your money to other things, because see this in this case, see this person, the average person that is talking about these cars here like this, and then they're saying, but we also want to buy a home. Or that's another thing they're trying to do. They're trying to do steps 4, 5, and 6 all at the same time, which you're supposed to do. And upgrading the car is going to make it take longer to get to baby step 7 because you're not applying the money to steps 4, 5, and 6. Unicorn, Dave says, you want to be a millionaire, surround yourself with millionaires. Find out what they do. Does anyone else feel they might as well be saying surround yourself with unicorns? I don't really know any millionaires. That's true. That's true. It might be difficult to find some. And he being in real estate was probably much more, around people like that. He would have been in a prime position to know a millionaire. Alrighty. Once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions, certified financial coach. And if you, yes, you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation with me by emailing coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also use that email address, coachstevemoney@gmail.com, for any questions about anything on my YouTube page or anything financial related, coaching related, anything like that. Donations, paypal.me/coachstevemoney, or CashApp, $CoachSteveMoney, or Walmart gift card to coachstevemoney@gmail.com, that same email address. Upcoming streams, as always, subject to change. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show, there was today's and the Thursday one. There's the Monday one, August 4th. Just completed that one. And the only other one this week is going to be Thursday, August 7th. Answering your financial questions stream, which is at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. those are going to be on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, August 5th, 6th, and 8th. And also, I believe, well, I didn't put it on the ticker yet, and also Saturday and Sunday, the 9th and 10th. So that's 3 in a row there, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, for the 8 p.m. stream. So that's a lot of streaming there. Not that many after shows, but a lot of streaming. All right, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, make smart financial decisions every day.